ended up going to Bangkok to end off my 1-month Asian adventure. Everyone that I would tell that I had 4 days in Bangkok, they'd say, oh, that's a long time for Bangkok. Bangkok is a very big city, very populated, very hot, and you don't get that nice ocean breeze that you do when you're in the islands, so it's just hot city. It's very common for people to not speak any English, so me not knowing Thai was kind of a barrier, especially at the airport. I finally managed to get a taxi after an hour and a half waiting in the taxi line. I was one of the last people in the line because there was some cutting going on, and my first experience with a taxi in Bangkok was quite an ordeal. They would refuse to take me. They say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't speak English. No, I don't know where you want to go. No, I don't want to go into that area of the city. No, there's too much traffic. Seriously, I got every excuse. But it would take, like, not even kidding, like 15 minutes for me to get a taxi. I don't know what was up with that. I actually arrived into Bangkok by myself. So the first time I had a tuk-tuk driver try to sell me something, I got kicked out because I kept saying no. So he's like, get out, get out. So I was like, fine, I'm gonna get out of your tuk-tuk. I'm gonna pay you money to kick me out of your tuk-tuk. So not the best start to Bangkok. Also, when I got to my hostel that I was staying at, which was Boxpackers Hostel, it was this really unique hostel. It was very private. However, it was not social at all. Like, I stay at hostels to meet new people easily and just to, especially when I'm traveling solo, because I don't know if I mentioned this throughout the whole vlog series, but I actually went to Asia by myself. So Bangkok, I was by myself, but I did end up meeting up with friends that were also in Bangkok from the Contiki tour that I had just finished before I arrived. I don't know, I just got a really cold feeling from that hostel. And that was probably the first experience in a hostel I've had that was not very good. Okay, aside from that Debbie Downer stuff that happened, Bangkok was awesome. I actually got to hang out, like I said, with some Contiki friends that I made. My Kiwi friends decided to go to the zoo, so I said, okay, I have no idea what to do in Bangkok. Let's go to the zoo. Easier said than done. We were Facebook messaging and we had just said, let's meet at the front gate. There's 4 front gates into Bangkok Zoo. Finally, after 5 failed attempts to find a taxi driver, I arrive at, I think it would have been the northern entrance, thinking that this is the only entrance to the zoos. I had to take a motorbike taxi through hot Bangkok traffic. Anyway, so I arrived to the wrong side of the zoo, and I have no internet, I don't have a mobile phone, I can't call anybody. Of course, there's no Wi-Fi at the zoo, so what do? I wait as long as probably for like 20 minutes, and I'm thinking, it's 20 minutes past our meetup time, I'm just gonna go walk around the zoo. Bangkok Zoo is super massive, and how it works is you have so many areas to visit, but you also have the option to like walk up some steps and enter this skywalk thing. It's like open and everything, but it's just you can walk up above, and I just decided to go up on this skywalk thing and walk past the giraffes. I walked past some tigers. I got to take a picture of some crocodile stuff, and then finally when I was passing some kind of animal, I don't even remember now, I finally see my 6'4" Kiwi friend, because of course he's a giant in Bangkok, and I was so happy when I saw him. When you see one person that you know, even if I had just met them on this Thailand trip, it was like Christmas Day, because I was like, Maddie, you're here! And we just hugged each other. It was awesome. It was like a little reunion. And Bangkok is such a big culture shock. So when I saw Maddie and his friend Jordan, it was awesome to see some friendly faces. And we actually just visited the zoo a bit, which, if I'm being honest, the zoo was slightly depressing. The animals looked really sad, so I don't know about that.
ให้มันอ้าก่อนดิ
So after the zoo, we actually just explored Koh San Road, and I think we went to the night markets that night, which I didn't get any footage of. Sorry about that, but I have some pictures, I think. The next day, Matt and I decided to go check out Grand Palace, which was pretty cool, super hot, and you have to wear a specific dress code when you visit Grand Palace just because you're respecting the culture and their religion and you have to dress modestly. So I had to put on some pants and a long sleeve shirt that I bought on Koh San Road. And we got to see the palace, super beautiful. I really thought the architecture was awesome. The actual Grand Palace part wasn't as beautiful as the temple that you see first. So the next day, my Kiwi friends left and I was left to explore Bangkok on my own for my last full day of my Asian adventure. I ended up meeting a cool German girl at breakfast, just by chance, because a few of us had to share a breakfast table. And I met her, found out that she was traveling by herself, so then she told me that she was interested in doing a Viking tour of Bangkok. And of course, I love cycling. I do a lot of cycling here back where I live, and I thought, okay, come on, let's do this. Biking in Bangkok. Something that just has to be done. And boy was I thankful that I did it, because I saw a side of Bangkok that I had never thought even existed, and which I hadn't even begun to touch seeing in the past 3 days that I had spent there prior. While you're on this tour, you have one tour guide, and our tour guide was Ka. She was a super funny lady, and she told funny jokes, and her English was really good. It was nice to have an English tour guide who could tell you about Bangkok, and you could get to understand their culture. And I learned so many things about Thai culture and just their demeanor and the reason why they do things a certain way. It's just different. It's not necessarily wrong, and it's not anything bad, it's just different. So I really appreciated seeing a different side of Bangkok and understanding why. And I really appreciate that tour guide for letting me understand and comprehend the differences that are there. And I think that that alone made it worth me attending the tour. So it's actually a Dutch-owned bike company, and so half the people on the tour were Dutch and they spoke Dutch, and I was the only Canadian there, so I was repping Canada all over Asia. I couldn't believe some of the places we were biking past. I wish at that point that I had a GoPro with an attachment so I could have taken video while I was biking, but I was pretty much white-knuckling the bike ride the whole time, because sometimes we're squeezing in between this very narrow alleyway in between buildings in Bangkok, and you have people on either side of you hanging out, and they're staring at the people biking by, because we were a group of about 15 to 20 people. We actually took a long boat ride across. Across the river is this little region of, I don't even think it's a part of Bangkok anymore. We're cycling on these little tiny pavements, like are this wide, and on either side of us is like a 10-meter drop down into this watered ravine thing with like trees going off the side. So if you fell off this thing, you pretty much were guaranteed to break your arm or break your leg or break your neck or something. And we had 2 guides that were helping out with us, and they helped us make sure we were not going to fall off and kill ourselves, which was super beautiful though, because it was this completely different world and it was only a boat ride away, and the boat ride only took about 7 minutes. So I couldn't believe the contrast between super busy, clustered, claustrophobic city with like 16 million people living in it, and that's just an estimate number. And then on this side of the river you have peaceful village-like community in the jungle, and it's just crazy. And I was so blessed to have been able to see that, and I totally recommend doing a biking tour in any city that you visit, because you get to see the back roads, you get to experience the culture, and if you have a guide that speaks the language you're familiar with or that's your native tongue, you're really going to learn a lot about the city, because if you get a good guide, they're going to tell you little insider secrets. I'm not going to give it away just in case you guys want to experience that for yourself. I'd highly recommend the tour company that I went with, and we were able just to show up to the place and randomly join a tour. We didn't even have to plan anything in advance. So they were really, really open, really flexible, and a great, great top-notch tour. talked way too much, but as usual, I had no talking footage in this part of the vlog. I hope that you enjoyed this vlog series of my Asian adventure. I completely loved Asia. I fell in love with Asia and I definitely want to go back. And next time I go back, I will do another vlog series, and I promise it'll be even better than these ones because I am working on my vlogging skills. Thanks for the support. If you really liked what you saw with this series, then give it a thumbs up, and congrats to the people that actually watched all 4 episodes. If you missed any of the episodes, or if you just joined because you randomly clicked on this video, there are 3 other parts to this 4-part series. So you're watching the final part, but there's also other cities that I visited on my adventure. I will leave links to all the parts of this 4-part series down in the description bar. Go check it out, guys. Thank you so much for watching, supporting, and subscribing. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked what you saw, and I will totally make more vlogs for you. Probably just gonna make them anyway. I actually really love doing travel vlogs, so if you love it as much as I do, don't forget to subscribe down there and you'll see more of my content. And I just wanted to give a special shout out, Maddie, if you're watching, the wolf pack is still strong, son. So keep that thing on, because the bet's still on. Thanks so much for supporting, guys. I love ya. Mwah. Bye!